Hello everybody, welcome back to Subarashiki Hibi. Today we're going to be finishing chapter 5, which I think is very, very unusual. It's not every day we can say that we're going to finish a chapter of a visual novel. But yeah, also what I'm going to be quite excited for is I've got new AirPods as well, so that means I'm going to be able to listen to the audio with better sound quality and just in general, well, just in general I'm going to find it a little bit nicer of an experience audibly, I suppose. And yeah, I'm also very excited to see what's going to happen to Tomosane. I mean, I can't deny, I won't say he has overconfidence. I think his confidence is perfectly realistic because, I mean, he has risen up so much in terms of his personality, and like the master said, or like Minakami Toshio had said, he's just become a lot more skillful of a person and a lot more well-rounded of a human being. He really has grown up. So I think it's just totally reasonable, now that he has defeated the Master, somebody who you would have thought that would be incredibly strong and obviously too far out of his reach. He's been able to do that, so I think because he's been able to surpass a wall that big, it's realistic for him to feel as much confidence as he does. But like he says, Takuji is a bigger opponent and it's bigger than anything he's ever faced, and I think he's just being a little bit too optimistic. And while he is acknowledging the fact that he may not win, he's not really... I don't really think he's prioritizing that possibility as much as he should. But then again, I mean, I suppose he doesn't need to now that he's beat the Master, and he just has more overall strength and less worrying about being inferior as a result. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with Tomosane. And how, let's be honest, I'm excited to see the decline. Right, now we're going to see why this guy justifies killing babies. Okay, I'm sorry, but he kind of does. But I do want to see if there's any meaning I can gain from this dialogue, because, yeah, let's just... oh my fucking god, this goes on forever. But I just kind of wanted to read Tomosane's views on death again. Let's go from here. I'll read really quickly, okay? I'll be done in 10 minutes. Yeah, that reminds me of Wittgenstein's beliefs. What cannot be put into words and what cannot be experienced is something that is not of this world, and something that is not an equation, something that doesn't equate to reality. Yeah, no, I do kind of see that, yeah. Yeah, and it is really interesting to... yeah. They are, though, seriously. It's just as if one is a product of the other, and it's really interesting that he's saying that, because originally it was meant to be something that human beings were designed to do, and nothing was able to... No meaning that is deeper than just the fact that it's a biological function was meant to be there. But the thing is now, obviously, because of the fact that human beings have changed, this is something that is of significance. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. And I suppose it kind of reflects on death as the fact that it's one thing that happens that's really simple and a key process of all life, but the thing is, because of human emotions existing, it's become so much more complicated than it needs to be. It is impossible to experience death, I agree. Yeah, no, I can see that. So I'm just a bit confused. Yeah, no, I can't see this because I suppose he was thinking of the fact that death is something that is not... He was thinking of it, if you ask me, from a rather neutral standpoint, not prioritising one view, but taking into consideration every viewpoint. And I mean, especially if you're religious, you would only want to take the viewpoint that your religion justifies. So I suppose it's kind of unusual that he's thinking about both. Actually, to be fair, I don't know if he's religious or not. But then again, I mean, you can still be religious and have a neutral standpoint on things. I just feel like it would be less likely, because maybe, I mean, especially in really, really old times, like the times Socrates was alive, I just really wonder if saying a view, even from a neutral perspective, that was potentially undermining to what your religion believed, could be considered, I don't know, an act of betrayal, act of treason, something like that. But then again, I mean, you can think things, it's just whether people notice that you've thought those things. You can think anything you want, but if somebody notices that you've thought something in times like these, you could be in trouble. But you can think anything. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, true. Yeah, I do see that. Yeah. But then again, I mean, that I think this is, sure, that's true. But the only thing is, I feel like because of the fact that death is inescapable and it's inevitable, this is less likely to happen. I mean, also, I suppose you've got to think about the fact that this is an incredibly, well, a viewpoint that looks at space of things. It looks at a lot of people, a lot of, it's sort of like a collective effort, really. And it's looking at people as a whole. It's not going into it's on an individual level and looking at what people would think and how they would perceive things like this on an individual level. Obviously, people would do anything not to experience death, especially if it's someone they know or someone they love or something like that on an individual level. But if you look at it on a really large scale, sure, people do die every day, and that's nothing that can be stopped. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. It's because they've accepted the fact that they are going to die. Yeah, I do find that really interesting. I mean, it's saying that... I mean, what's a little bit unusual here is the fact that... Yeah, that's interesting. I just find it really interesting to think about the fact that these people, what Tomosane is kind of trying to say here is the fact that it all seems so intimidating when nobody's actually experienced it, but on the moments of experiencing it, people can calmly accept it. And it just feels so weird because something they've been fearing for days, when it actually comes around, they're less scared than they would have normally put up. It's weird. But yeah, I do kind of agree. But that's just a byproduct of human consciousness. I mean, if anything, it's a price to pay for us having differences to, I don't know, intellectual capacity to an animal, for example. It's a price worth paying, really. Yeah, because it's such an unknown concept to feel. It's such an unknown concept that somebody could never experience, could never feel like I should experience. This is weird. I just find it really weird to think about the fact that he's completely turning everything around, saying that I suppose people who are in existence feel a concept that is unknown as death, that can never be experienced by somebody who is existing. But the thing is, people who were made before the stages of existence, it's as if they can feel the same with death. But then again, I mean, he does actually have a really good point, because I mean, which baby or which human being remembers the time in which they hadn't become a product of this world yet and they hadn't existed? Who genuinely remembers that? And it's just quite funny to think that I don't know, I suppose you could think that maybe death is the same in this way. I mean, you can never remember what happens. No, what my point was is the fact that you can't remember your experience, and you can't ever experience that, and it kind of has a similar way of thinking about it. Yeah, I do understand this, yeah. Isn't it interesting? I do remember everything about Tomosane. Isn't it interesting to think about the fact that this doesn't even matter whose baby it was, it applies to every single life on Earth. There's no one exception. Yeah, but I just find it so interesting to think about the fact that But the thing is, the reason why I think this is a bit odd to contemplate is just because of how unknown it is. I mean, this is just you applying what you think towards existences. How do you know that babies have the intellectual capacity to contemplate this stuff? I mean, then again, maybe you could think that the crying is instinctive, but at the same time, I mean, it's just so odd. I mean, obviously, even if they don't have the capacity to contemplate it, it doesn't necessarily mean they won't experience a lot of pain. Maybe that's what he's thinking. It's just unusual that what he's thinking is they fear life like we fear death. But the only thing is they have to experience it, and experiencing life is inevitable. But the only thing is, obviously, for every baby it isn't. Sure, some die during birth or maybe a few minutes afterwards, but for the ones that don't, what happens is maybe it's as if you could... I'm kind of surprised that Tomosane, somebody as kind as Tomosane, doesn't have a viewpoint like this. You go into living and then you're shown what it truly means for existence to happen, and then you come to accept your existence. And ironically, it's just like what happens when people die. It's so weird. It really, really is. Yeah, this is unusual. I really do think this is unusual. Yeah, he curses the world. I mean, then again, I can kind of see that, because it's the same reason why we would curse death. Just instinctively. It doesn't even have to be something that we consciously make the decision to do. We could just do it instinctively. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe you could think that worse mental health as a result of the fear of dying could be, in some ways, a curse towards... Well, no, that's death cursing you, not really a curse towards death. Yeah, maybe not. But, yeah, what I'm trying to say is the fact that you're angry that something inevitable has to happen, and there's no way of preventing it, really. And it's cruel, if anything, forcing somebody to go to something they don't necessarily want to go to. That's kind of similar to dying. I mean... It's just so weird. Yeah, I just find it seriously odd to think about the fact that it's the most horrible action disguised as something that is the most kind. But then again, I mean, I suppose if you have this viewpoint about how people come into the world with fear, the kindness of the people who have done an action as awful as making them come into a world that is fully scary for them. They are the people that give them love, and they are the people who raise them and ultimately do things that they are going to be happy with in the long run. It's just weird how he thinks that rather than raising this baby and making it so that he can, making it so that the baby can live a life, what he wants to do is end it himself and just try to, end it himself so that he never has to experience life really itself. It's such an odd viewpoint that really fails to consider any happy meaning to life. It just considers sadness. Yeah, sins against that baby for being a part of who has permitted it to exist. It's so unusual. It's just such an out of character viewpoint, if you ask me. It's something I never would have expected him to say. Yeah, good. I just find it so interesting that you don't even think that you are... It's an incredibly selfish viewpoint as well. I mean, you're basically imposing your entire viewpoint on, I don't know, maybe the family and the people who made that kid. I mean, look at how much pain people have to go through in order to make a kid, and you're just thinking because of your viewpoint that them dying is something that should happen. I mean, that's not true at all. It really isn't, and it's just weird to think about the fact that he feels he has a sense of responsibility for being part of the problem that has brought him into the world. Well, I mean, he's part of the species who has forced his existence. I just find it interesting how this contrasts to Takuji as well. I remember him saying that, well, a life of a newborn baby with 10 minutes has no meaning, and it has just as much meaning as anybody else's life does in the scale of infinity. But at the same time, Tomosane he's sad about that very same fact, and he's scared about the fact that he can't give meaning, and he feels like a big brother would, a sense of responsibility to give him meaning. It's just very twisted in how he does it. I mean, the thing is, logically, I think it does make sense as to why he would think this. It's just there's a lot of things that aren't being considered in this argument, if you ask me. Like, for example, the ethics of everyone around that baby. But then again, I mean, obviously, you could ruin somebody's life in the most awful way by doing something like this, but it's actually kind of weird to think about it. These people may have parents, but does the baby know that these people were parents? No. And it's just so interesting. This. Yeah, but it is interesting to think that this was initially a mistake. You don't want to put the baby out of his existence because of the fact that it is a being that has never known existence, so it has to experience it, and probably the horrors of it from how much it contrasts to the previous state of existence that the baby was in. But at the same time, it becomes normalized and it comes to accept its existence. Nothing changed apart from his thoughts and the fact that this baby didn't die. Yeah, but no, I do totally see this. I mean, yeah, it's just you're within a state that's prior to existence, and then you're gradually developed. You come out, and then you learn to exist. It's really weird. Yeah, but no, I can kind of see this though. Yeah, that's a good point. Death will never come, but existence is something that is forced to be experienced by those who aren't fully existing. I suppose that's kind of like Tomosane in a way. Yeah. So if anything, I mean, I do wonder if you could use what Tomosane is saying in order to justify the fact that existence is scarier than death. Yeah. No, but I do actually kind of see this because of the fact that beforehand, I mean, in this, Tomosane has the power to control existence. I mean, his decision could basically impact the life of another individual. It could have. But the only thing is when... It's just interesting when the hatred for existence and the fact that this baby was forced into the world becomes accepted. He just realises how wrong his viewpoint was and how even though it was done out of his thought of kindness, it was something that he would never have been able to forgive himself for. And of course he wouldn't, it's fucking wrong. But then he has the right decision and he realises. But it's a premonition of his own life, I suppose, because he was the one who was scared of existence and now he is the one who has power to control it. Firstly, Takuji's existence, but then you could technically say that the body he has also has the potential to send, I don't know, like over 50 people to Tsui no Sora. Tsui no Sora. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but then again, I really like this, yeah. I suppose any mind could be blessed or cursed, it just depends. Because people, like Takuji for example, I think he's a very good example of a mind who has been blessed and cursed by the power to have more consciousness than animals ever could, because of the fact that, firstly, he's become a brilliant human being and a happy human being, but secondly, well, he's become someone who's got DID. And he's had so much torture mentally, and trauma and bullying, and he's been affected in so many bad ways. That's all a curse of the fact that human beings actually have consciousness, I suppose. Yeah, but I suppose, isn't it interesting to think about the fact that even though you have a ridiculous amount of trauma, you still hold on to your life and you give it meaning. You don't instinctively want to die. I suppose with a lot of people who are really traumatized, I don't know how it must be, but I do wonder if suicide is something that initially it seems like a very scary concept, but the worse somebody's life gets, the more realistic it becomes, and then somebody might actually do it. But what I'm trying to say is that in the beginning, suicide would have been something, in the beginning of their traumatic times, and the times where they were affected by something really bad, I just wonder if they would contemplate suicide, or if it's... I don't know. But then again, I mean, even if you contemplate suicide, and even if you try to do it, it's probably a massive fear of death that... Well, no, I think there's two outcomes. You either fear death so much that you don't do it and you hold on to your life, or you're so damaged that the fear of death is something that has come to acceptance, if you like, because people's lives are so awful that they've accepted that death would be a better outcome for them. But obviously that's just... Yeah, it's just sad that people have to think that, really. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally see that. Yeah, no, I totally agree, yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't it interesting the last sky is not yours? You are not the person who is going to be able to live your life so that you die seeing. Well, no, the last sky that the body of Mamiya Takuji will see is not going to be seen by your personality. I think that's just a subtle little hint of an indication. A subtle little hint of the fact that there is a potential for Tomosane to lose this battle. Yep, Takuji being a psychopath, gotta love it. Typical at this point. What did you just do to me? Yeah, sure thing. What did you just do to her? Better question. What I find very interesting about the logical arguments that Tomosane proposes is that they are very devoid of the human logic that people would normally have themselves. People would normally think, oh, there's a baby there, just don't kill it and let it live its life. I mean, that's just a simple way of thinking about it, and I just find it so interesting that he considers a layer of existence and a layer of perception that not any normal human being would have, really. And I think that's because of the fact that he's another personality and he has an existence that is not similar to all other people's normal existences. But then again, I mean, it could also be because of the fact that Takuji has very philosophical, yeah, I suppose very philosophical origins and interests, and he's influenced quite significantly by the philosophy as well. So maybe that could be why. It's either philosophy or it could be the nature of Tomosane's existence. Anyway, I'm not even going to be 10 minutes. Fuck off, man. It's 33 minutes in now. Let's just get on with this. My God. To be fair, I think that was valuable. I really did. I enjoyed that. But yeah, let's see what the fuck happens now. What did you just do to me? Oh God, is he going to try and touch Ayana? This is going to be really funny to see it through Tomosane's perspective. I didn't do anything. I just watched. Says you? You did something. Yep. You just got caught up in your delusions. I didn't do anything. Exactly, yeah. Lol. What did you just say? There's no way that was a delusion. If I had such a realistic delusion like that, I wouldn't even be able to tell the difference between reality and my delusions. Oh, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay, yeah, that is actually a really good point. To be fair, I just thought about something. So this is right after the scene where Takuji fucks Zakudo's corpse. But the only thing is that I find very, very odd is the fact that we have never seen this corpse whatsoever in the next battle scene with Tomosane. I was always convinced that Zakudo's corpse was something that was genuinely there. But no, I think that proves that it was a delusion. Oh god, that's really weird. No, because I remember I've seen some people trying to justify the fact that Zakudor's corpse was never really there, and I could never believe it. I genuinely couldn't. But now I can totally see why they're saying it. That's right, I definitely felt the warmth of your skin. That couldn't have been an illusion. Warmth? She sounds very, very shocked by that. She's odd. Yeah, fully agreed. Yeah, and I suppose I just find it really quite funny to think about the fact that warmth is usually something that's really associated with love and comfort and just in general feelings of positivity, really. But, yeah. It can also be a very it could be a very alternative end to the spectrum. Yeah, I think you get what I mean. What are you saying? You're just some perverted Futanari girl. You came everywhere. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, if anything, even if this did genuinely happen, it was under his instruction as well. How can you call somebody a perv when you're the one who forced them to do that? That's just sick. Like I said, I'm not a Futanari. No, I'll prove you're a Futanari. See, I knew it. Mamiya-kun. Yeah, this is so deserved. Blood. Mamiya-kun, that was over the line for a prank. You deserve to get punched for that. Your nose is bleeding. Dude, that wasn't a prank, that's the horrible thing. Ayana, so. She did it again. Good for her. Isn't it funny weakening Takuji's spirit like that? If you ask me, maybe that could be a subtle way of her rooting for Tomosane. Yeah, seriously, don't fucking touch her. It's a bit creepy. Just a bit. Oh god, that's not even the most creepy thing that's happened. Yeah, just look at the content of his delusions, let's just say. That's infinitely more creepy. If you want to pull a prank the next time you see me, you should be satisfied with just flicking my forehead. I love her expression, my god. Otherwise I'll break your nose again. You. There will not be. But maybe there won't be a next time. Isn't it interesting that maybe... I have a very interesting proposition. In Looking Glass Insect's alternative ending, Ayana is never to be seen again when there's hope, and when Zakudor has conquered all of the, well, the fateful pathways that she could have gone down. Here, there is a fateful pathway, she's trying to influence it so that Takuji is the one who loses, but then we never see her again, and I really wonder if there's a pattern to that. But then again, I mean, explain chapter 2 then. Because there's no hope in Yuki's situation. And if anything, Ayana kind of trolls her at the end. So I wonder, I mean, it would make sense for chapter 3 and 4, but not chapter 2 if you ask me. Yeah. God, just forcing reality on him. I am Otonashi Ayana. That's what they call me. I am not your Riruru-chan's dregs. I am not a shadow. I'm not one of your delusions. I just want to hear. I just wanted to see what she said. I just wanted to see how that's what they called me translated into Japanese, to be honest. I think it said Sore o yobareru mono. which would make sense. Wait, actually, would it? Oh my fucking god. Oh, I heard that really wrong. Soi obareteru mono. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay, that's good.
リルルちゃんは妄想などではない。
Riruru-chan isn't a delusion. What is she then?
そう。あれは妄想じゃないんだ。
It's an archetype. Or at least that's... I think it's an archetype. I can't fully remember what the definition of one is. That I swear it's a mental image that somebody projects onto something in order to represent a certain emotion. But I just want to check. In Jungian theory or Jungian theory, I don't know how you say that. A primitive mental image inherited from the earliest human ancestors and supposed to be present in the collective unconscious. Oh. Right. I don't understand this then. Universal symbolic pattern or image that exists in the collective unconscious, influencing human behavior or experiences. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is AI overview. Oh, fucking kill yourself. Okay, I need to look into this more because I thought I knew what it was, but... Yeah. Archetypes are universal symbolic patterns or image that exist in the collective unconscious. Part of the mind shared by all humans. Okay, yeah, I need to look into this. I don't really understand. I'm just finding it a bit difficult to understand the collective unconscious. So that's one thing I myself need to just dedicate some time on the bus or something to look into. Yeah, but... Well, she's a means of projecting... how do I put this? So he's had trauma, he wants to run away from his true world and he wants to go into fantasy so that... Well, he wants to go into fantasy so that he doesn't have to confront the horrors of what is truly there. Death is a good example. He wants to run away from it and he can't admit that it's there. And Riruru is just a means of him coping with how hard his life is to live, let's be honest.
でもそうなのかもしれない。あれだって自分自身を妄想だと認めないはず。私がそうであるように、あなたがそうであるように。
But that might be how it is. It refuses to recognize itself as a delusion, just like I do and just like you do.
妄想じゃない。目の前のあなたも私も。
I'm not a delusion and neither are you standing in front of me, but...
私は音なしあやな。
I'm otonashi I am.
人間であるという設定。
In this setting I am human.
でも、もうあなたは人間ではない。
But you're not a human anymore.
当たり前だ。僕は救世主だ。
Of course not, I'm the savior.
人類を救うべきものだ。ただの人間などであるわけがない。
You're not a human. You're not a normal human. Sure, you're fucking deranged, but... I mean, I don't really understand how... Ayana thinks that he isn't a human being.
まして、僕はマミやタクシなどという哀れな魂の所有物などではない。
And I'm not the property of that pathetic soul called Mamiya Takuji.
私は世界を空へ返す者、救世主たる者、聖波動を操る者。
I'm the person who will return the world to the sky. I am the savior. I am the one who controls the holy surge.
So, 空に返す。その空の名は
Yes, you will return it to the sky.
世界の限界。最果ての空。対の空。
The limit of the world, the final sky, end sky.
そう。 対の空に至るんだ。
Yes, you will reach the end sky.
無限が有限につながり、有限が無限につながる。ぐるぐると回るウロボロス。
The infinite and the finite connect. The finite and the infinite connect. Spinning Ouroboros.
循環性、永劫回帰、永続性、永遠、円運動、死と再生、破壊と創造、宇宙の根源、無限性、不老不死、完全性、全知全能。
Yep, he's totally lost it. I find it really interesting just to think about the fact that Ayana is saying, you're not a human. That's such a subtle criticism, just saying the fact that he is such an awful and deranged and... Well, in general, he is just a person who is so lacking in terms of responsibility and a desire to actually admit what is going on. And it was really interesting. I was having a conversation today and just thinking about Takuji and all of the reasons why he becomes the savior. He doesn't even know why he does it about half of the time, and all of the truths, they're just covered up with fantasy. And then he goes on more and more and he doesn't accept anything that is actually real. It's like a positive feedback loop in a way. Just one condition, things happen to make that condition worse, and then things happen to make that condition that's worse and worse, and it never stops going until you fucking die. Basically. You are, yeah, I totally agree. What is angelic and what is darkness in your head? Because let's be honest, the Holy Search is all a concept that is in his head. But, yeah. You control what goes on in your head to a certain extent. Of course you do. Right, I think this is relevant now. I'm finding it a bit hard to think about why, but I have a rough idea. So, the infinite is Takuji's... Oh yeah, I found something that I think is realistic. The infinite are concepts that Takuji tries to make himself think of. He tries to make the concepts. Well, he uses his interpretation. He interprets something that he thinks is impossible to be understood by a normal human mind. So that then makes him feel like he is so much more special and that he is more important and significant for contemplating something that a normal human being would never contemplate. Then, what happens as a result of that is when contemplating things that are supernatural and beyond the level of human consciousness, he feels, well, he just goes further and further from reality and he's immersed more in fantasy. And then the finite, that's death. That's something that is inevitably going to happen to every human being. So what I'm trying to say is that, because of the fact that seeing the Tsui no Sora implies that you are going to die, it's as if all of the infinite means of having delusions that have taken Takuji towards the infinite sky, they then connect with the finite, i.e. a life which is being made to be finite. Okay, that made sense a lot more in my head, but I hope you can have a rough idea of what I'm trying to say. Spinning Ouroboros. Yeah, it's an odd idea, that. It really is. It says that's something. Wow. That sounds so complicated.
ヨルムンガンドの目覚めは近い。我々水ガルズを取り巻き、自らの王を加えた巨者の目覚め。
Yep. Dude, this is mythology. It's meant to be a story. It's not meant to be something that will actually happen. Or at least that's my opinion. But then again, who's to say that my opinion is objective? Why am I imposing my view on Takuji and using my view to undermine his logic? Okay, I've just said something that is completely invalid. Just there, and I've justified why it's invalid to me. If he can think this, what right do I have to impose my views on this? Because, I mean, it's just a different way of viewing the world, I suppose. Because I'm not deluded. I can say that. But the only thing is, I can never prove it. So why am I right? I mean, I get that it's the way the world works, but there are things we don't know of in the world. It's a bit creepy, that. But how can I actually use my view to justify why I think Takuji's sayings are wrong? It's at hand.
だから空に帰らなければならない。
Therefore, we must return to the sky. God.
よかったね。
That's nice.
間宮君は君なりの存在理由を認められたんだ。
Reasonable. You found a reason for your existence.
何？
What?
そんな低俗な概念ではない。
Yes, it is.
そうだね。
Of course.
水上ゆき。
Minakami Yuki.
結城智実。
その二人が何なんだ。
いまだにこの二人の名前には反応するんだね。まだ気になるの。
なんで僕があの二人のことなんて気にしなければならないんだ。
Yeah, I
気に
don't
なる
know.
わけが。
Even though you instinctively cared about them, there's so much. There's only so much you can do in order to put a front on.
あの二人、間宮君と全く違う生き方を
Oh, yeah.
している。全く違ったものを見ている。
Yeah.
それぞれが違ったものを見ている。違ったことをしている。でもそれは同じものでしかない。
Each one sees different things, does different things, yet those things are the same.
その三つはバラバラなのに、一つのものでしかない。
The three are, at the same time, both disconnected and unified.
調和、
Yeah.
そして破壊。
Creation, harmony, and destruction.
それぞれが全く違った性質を持ちながら、それらは全く同じものでしかない。
Their natures are completely different, but they're the same.
名指すもの、口にするもの、そして消し去るもの。
One who names it, one who speaks it, And one who erases
結
it.
城智実君。彼は言っていた。
Yuki Tomosane-kun, he said,
言っていた
what did he say?
何を
泣いてる。
Crying? Huh?
泣いてる赤ん坊の。その声を止めることができなかった。
Interesting that she's sad about that. Crying infant, he couldn't stop it from crying.
そしてできなかったことがあるいは人が持つ現在であり、だからこそそれが善意なんだって。
That's so unusual. And the fact that he couldn't might be man's original sin, and because of that, it's benevolence. So it might be a sin to not have been able to stop the crime, but... Well, it is interesting to think that, I mean, in existence, it has pain, it's an inevitable part of it, but you stop the pain and you also stop the possible happiness that could come from this person.
"人が生きるということは現在という形の善意なんだって。
I don't really understand this. For a human to live is benevolence in the form of original sin.
地獄までの道は善意によって敷き
Yeah,
詰めら
I
れてい
do
る。
see this. But then again, why is it necessarily the case that a human living will imply going down to the road of hell? But the thing that's really weird is the fact that I can totally see this. Okay, I don't fully understand this, but I understand this because the original sin is being able not to stop somebody crying, but at the same time that's great because you can't experience happiness without having experienced sadness and pain and even wanting to curse the world. If you don't let a baby cry, i.e. you fucking kill it, you remove all of its happiness, so it is benevolence in that form. And I suppose engaging in the original sin of man, i.e. not being able to stop sadness and loathing, it's kindness, because if you do try to stop those things, it always just goes down in a worse manner. I mean, look at this, for example. you have a kill count, it will go out by 1 if you do something like this. Let's just say that. I can't believe I just said that, but I really did. God, I want to die. Oh, that's fitting. Yeah, that is interesting. I just find it so weird to think about the fact that all of these 3 states of existence, they are the same. Sure, they're happening from Guy in the same body, but how are they the same? It's so weird. Oh, I get it. Is it because of the fact that they are 3 souls unified in one body, and maybe you could think about the fact that their origin and their location and, well, the reason that they, well, no, just the fact that they're 3 souls in one body, maybe that means they're all the same thing, just different forms. And then you could tie I wonder if you could tie the collective unconscious theory in there. The fact that a human being's individual makeup is all the same. And it's... I don't understand this concept the most. I think it's... the makeup is the same, it's just our individual traits and our looks and obviously our genetic traits are what make us differ. So I suppose maybe you could think that from a human being level, these people are the same souls in the same body from the same makeup, so that means they are the same. It's just they have different behaviours. And also different roles. Yeah. That does make sense. They're all interdependent as well. Destruction can't happen if there's no creation, and harmony to support that creation. Yeah, I do see that.
だったら地獄までの道は希望でできてる。
But why is... Oh, is it because of the fact that hell is implying the road to death? The road to end, the road to having your life end? In that case, the road to hell is made of hope. Hope.
そう。
Kibo. Is that really hope?
生きるとは希望。
Oh, Kibo, right. It reminds me of Yokubo, which is desire in Japanese. Yes, to live is to hope.
でも
Kibo.
もう間宮君には必要ないものだね。だって本来なら結城君がすべきことを君がやろうとしているんだから。
Holy fuck, this makes sense now. Yeah, because the destroyer is becoming the create. Wait, no. No, sorry. The creator is becoming the destroyer, and the destroyer is becoming the destroyed. The destroyer has no roles anymore. Or maybe the destroyer is becoming the... No. Could you argue that? Because Takuji sees a confidence boost after being able to defeat Tomosane, and he's more immersed in his delusions when he does you know what to Kagami, maybe Tomosane could become the harmonizer. Wait, no, I swear there's an explanation about how the personality roles change here. Oh, the creator is the harmonizer, really? That's unusual. The roles of the gods change. The gods, isn't that interesting? The destroyer becomes the creator. I'm surprised. The creator becomes the harmonizer. Each of their roles change. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. The destroyer has lost his right to destroy since the creator is ending everything. Yeah, totally. Takuji defeats after rebirth, the gods that was supposed to rule over harmony can't do anything. Yeah, that does make sense. The creator has given up on being the rebirther. Yeah, fair. Yeah, I agree. The creator is trying to destroy the world he created. The destroyer speaks of hope. The creator speaks of despair. Yeah. The harmonizer hesitates and stops in place.
世界の行く末を見つめている。
Stops and look at where the world is going.
始まってしまった回転、その回転はもう止まらない。
I see that, yeah. Now that the rotation has begun, it can't be stopped.
人が最後に戸惑うのは無限と有限、そして回転と停止。
The final puzzle for man is the infinite and finite. Rotation and suspension.
うるさい、うるさい。お前のご託などたくさんだ。
Shut up, shut up. I'm tired of listening to you.
僕は対の空に至るものだ。
I'm the person who will reach the end sky. I don't even
もう
disagree.
一度言う。僕は対の空に至るものだ。
I'll say it again. I'm the person who will reach the end sky.
もう一度言う。僕は対の空への予感者だ。
I'll say it again. I'm the herald of the end sky.
もう一度言う。お前のことが大嫌いだ。
Say it again. I hate you.
僕は兆しへの予感者。完全な世界に至るものだ。
I'm the forerunner of prophecy, who will reach the complete world.
今日はもう18日。
Yep.
最後の空まであと少し。
Today is already the 18th. There's just a little longer to go until the last sky.
そうだ。最果ての空。最後の空。世界の限界が近づく。もう少し。もう少しで世界の限界が見えるんだ。20日まであと少し。いや、その前にはことを終わらせねばならない。空に全てを返さなきゃいけないんだ。全てを。
There's not much time until the 20th. No, I have to end it before then. I have to return everything to the sky. Everything.
箱舟に集まる全てのものを返さなきゃいけないんだ。
I have to return all the people gathered in the ark.
もう最果てはすぐそこだ。空の限界はすぐそこだ。境界線、世界の最後。対の空はすぐそこまで来ている。そうだ。ほら。
The end is right there. The sky's limit is right there. The boundary line. The world's last. The end sky is right there. That's it, look.
ほら。あんなに大きく見えるだろう。あんなに巨大に見えるだろう。
Just look, it looks so big. It looks so massive. What? What is that? The sky looks strange. Is this what Mami Atakuji was speaking of? No, that's what he's hallucinating.
限界の先。限界は扉。
And this is what he feels is going to happen after death, I'd assume.
扉だ。扉の向こうは海なんだ。ものすごく深い海。
Beyond the limit. The limit is a door. Yes, a door. And beyond that door is a sea. An incredibly deep sea.
ほら、あれが世界の限界。最果ての空。
Look, that is the world's limit. The final sky.
本当に
Yeah. You're right.
も
It's
うここまで
delusions.
対の空は来ている。
This is not the real sky.
もう世界の果てまであと数ミリなんだ。
The end sky has already come this far. There were only a few more inches between us and the edge of the world.
今すぐでもいい。すぐに飛び出しても構わない。
Even now would be fine. I wouldn't mind jumping now.
ならなんでまだやらないの？
Then why haven't you done it yet?
まだやらない。まだやらない。まだやらない。ここですべきことがあるから。
Isn't it interesting him totally forgetting the cause and the reason why he is doing all of this? That's right. Something I still have to do. Something I have to do. And something Mamiya Takuji has to do. That's right. This is the answer. Oh, yeah, I like that. I took a deep breath and yelled out his name. Mamiya Takuji! Holy fuck, this is going to be cool. This really will be. Wow. Let's just see if we can get anything from the dialogue, firstly. Just the most anticlimactic moment. Yeah, you're trying to destroy. I do wonder how the destroyer is going to become the creator, though. I don't really understand. Unless Tomosane somehow made the Yuki who was in Delusional World, but I don't see how that could be possible. You're trying to destroy. I suppose the creator becomes the harmonizer of his delusions. Yeah, I like that, and the creator has given up on restarting life. Yeah, no, I totally agree. To this. Here we go. Mamiya Takuji.
この声
Huh, that voice. Oh yeah, you're scared. Yeah. If you're so capable and so capable and so able to return everybody to the sky and do what your existence had primed you to do, why are you still scared? If you're so above humanity. Here you fucking go.
いつからそこに
You. How long have you been there?
ずっといたさ。さっきからずっとここに。別にお前も救世主になって俺のことを忘れたわけじゃないだろう。
I find it interesting, by the way, this is only something you can really notice when you realise that Tomosane is Takuji. I mean, their outfits are the same. I mean, I get, this is the thing, and why I think the setting of a school is a very good place for something like this, because the outfits are the same. It just feels like something that is normal and something that should be the case, considering they go to the same school. Oh, I don't think that's the reason, though. I've been here the whole time, much longer than you knew. Right here beside you. You haven't forgotten about me now that you've become the saviour, have you?
Yuki Tomosane
Yuki Tomosane.
ああ、そうだ、勇気だ。
Sama.
お前があれだけ恐怖した勇気友実様だよ。
Yeah, that's right, I'm Yuki, the person you so feared. Yuki Tomosane-sama!
なんだそりゃ
Totally.
久
He
しぶり
was
に会っ
last
たら
time,
キ
though,
ャラ
to
変わっ
be
てる
fair.
ね
No, actually, he wasn't. No.
もっと落ち着いた感じのドキュンかと思った
No, he'd begun to change. Then. He'd begun to realise just how much he should treasure Hasaki and how much he should defeat Takuji. What's with you? I haven't seen you in a while, but it seems like you've changed. I always thought you were such a dumb thug.
そうだな。まあ諸事情があってな。もともとがこういうキャラだったの我慢してたんだよ。
Well, things happen, you know. I've actually always been like this. Yeah.
それで君が僕に何の用だい
So, what do you want from me?
何言ってる。俺にとどめを刺さなかったんだから。お前だってうすうすは感じていたのだろう。
You didn't finish me off. I'm sure you knew this was coming, right? I'm sure you could sense it.
うすうす感じる
Sense what?
何を
俺に消し去られる運命をだよ。
Your fate, to be erased by me.
何を言い出すやら消し去る救世主の僕を一階のドキュンの
Dude, he
君
beat
が
his instructor. Of course, he is going to be able to erase Takuji. Or at least that's what you'd like to think. Is that what you came here to say? You're just going to erase me? Some low-life thug off the streets is going to come and erase me, the saviour. Well,
そりゃとんだミスキャストじゃないか
don't you think you're a bit out of place here?
ミスキャスト。
Out of place?
ああそうだよそうだよだって君は
Isn't
僕
that
が知る
ironic?
限り
Just how little he
最も
knows
低
him.
俗でバカで使えることと言ったら肉体言語だけだろ
Yeah, exactly. You're the stupidest, lowest person I know. all you know how to do is talk with your fists, right?
ああ、君はバカだから知らないかもしれないけど、肉体言語っていうのは暴力のことだからね。
Yeah, you're stupid, so maybe you don't know this, but talking with your fists means using violence.
こんな認識の極致、対の空の下で。
Yeah, a very funny question, but now we know the answer to.
人間を相手にしなければならない。
In the furthest reaches of the universe under the end sky, why would I meet a vulgar man like you?
今日まで僕はここで。
Black dude.
そして神の父。
This is so.
フロリルルの化身、音無し綾菜。そういった認識の外なるもの。
Yeah.
刑事上的な存在と出会ってきた。
The past times I've come here, I've met White Rirudu, the father himself. Ah, yes, because meeting God is totally normal. Black Rirudu's incarnation, Otonashi Ayana, and other metaphysical existences beyond
なの
comprehension.
になんだい君は。
Because he is actually a metaphysical existence beyond comprehension, I suppose. Wait, let me just fully confirm the definition of metaphysical. Yeah, I mean, relating to the part of philosophy that is about understanding existence and knowledge. Oh, the basic structure of reality. Yeah. I suppose it does question your view of reality and how truly real everything you are perceiving is. And I suppose it's kind of like all of these other, what he calls metaphysical existences, because they are things that should be beyond comprehension. Of course, somebody like Tomosane is someone who is beyond comprehension because of the fact that he's another personality, and Takuji will never be able to realise that just because of how much he's running away from the real world, really. So then, why are you here?
なんで君みたいな刑事家なものが。
He's not physical.
まるでニーベルングの指輪に森の石松が出てきて、突然寿司食いねえって言ってるぐらいミスキャストだ。
A physical being like you appearing here is so out of place. It's like if Mori no Ishimatsu suddenly appeared in Der Ring des Nibelungen and asked, anybody wants sushi? What is Der Ring des Nibelungen? A cycle of 4 epic music dramas composed by Richard Wagner, based on German heroic legends. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, why would something that is integral to Japanese culture appear in something that's probably really significant to German culture? And if anything, I suppose, sushi was actually initially developed during the period of Sakoku, if you know what that is. So I suppose it's... I think something like that, it could have the least influence possible from foreign outlets, but I don't fully know, I'm just assuming that. But just because of how isolated Japan was in Sakoku period. Who's Mori no Ishimatsu? Someone of the forest? Oh. Right. Oh, wait. Yeah, Ishimatsu of the forest. The one-eyed swordsman.
おお、そうかい。だけど俺は言わなかったっけな。
Oh, really? Sorry about that then. But didn't I say it before?
俺とお前の戦いというのは、
Oh,
ど
yeah,
ちら
yeah,
か
yeah.
が
No,
消
no, no,
滅
totally,
するまでの
because...
戦いだ。
Yeah.
あの程度痛めつけただけで終わると思ったか。
He's being so brave, he really is. The battle between you and me will go on until one of us is destroyed. Did you think you could end it just by hurting me?
まあ、わりかし。
More or less.
ほう。舐められたもんだな。
Oh, really? You've underestimated me then.
今の今まで隠れてたやつにそんなこと言われる筋合いはないと思うけど。
Yeah, that's a good point. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't talk after hiding away from me all this time.
隠れてた。バカじゃねえのか。
Hiding? Are you stupid? You're the one who tried to erase me. Yeah, but he never consciously did that. That was never something he made the decision to do. That was his mind. I don't necessarily think you could blame Takuji for that. But it's not worth explaining that to him.
まあ、なんだ。ギリギリまで待っていたということかな。修行でもしてたの？
I guess you were just waiting until the last moment, right? Were you off training somewhere?
そうだな。
That's right.
さあ、最後の舞台にふさわしい演出のつもりかい？
So you're planning to give me a performance worthy of the final act on the stage that is this world?
ああ、そうだよ。
Yeah, no, I totally
努
see that.
力だよ。
Yeah, that's it. These are the fruits of my labour. This is the result. The fact that he can do this here confidently is just an indication of how much he has changed. And yeah, that's it. These are the fruits of my labour.
努力？何の努力だい？
God, you're so clueless. The labour? What
貴
labour?
様を消すための
Yep. My
努
labour.
力さ。
Working to destroy you.
僕を消すための努力？
Working to destroy me?
ああ、そうだ。救世主様がいらない三大原則だよ。努力、根性、ど根性。
Yeah, the three principles that you don't understand. Work, courage, and fucking courage.
ほんとキャラ違うね。そんな古典的ドキュンだったっけ？君って。
You really have changed. We were always such a run-of-the-mill thug.
まあ、今まで本気出すこともなかったんでな。
Yeah.
字を隠してこれた。だが今回は本気だ。本気でお前を殺しに来た。
I've never been serious until now. I've always hidden my power. But this time I'm serious. I'm seriously come to kill you.
素朴な疑問なのだが、なぜそこまでして君は僕を消し去ろうとするんだ
I
い？
wonder how he answers. This might be a silly question, but why do you want to erase me so badly?
なぜだと？愚問だろう、間宮拓司。
Why? That's a stupid question, Mamiya Takuji.
愚問？それは黒波動に君が侵されているから。そう考えて差し支えないということなのかな。
The reality you're abandoning? Hasaki? Yeah, sure. Stupid? Would I be wrong to say it's because you've been infected by the Black Surge?
黒波動
Yep.
また新しい妄想を手に入れたんだな。前に会った時にはそんな言葉は吐いてなかったが。
Black Surge? So you've come up with some new delusions. I remember you using that word last time we met.
手に入れた？君はどれだけ考えなきものなのか。手に入れたのではない。知ったのだ。真実を。
Come up with? Are you utterly thoughtless? I didn't come up with it, I learnt it. I learnt the truth. Sure.
よくもまあそんなどうでもいい妄想を次から次へと知っていくんだな。
You believe every single one of your silly delusions, huh?
妄想？知性のかけらすらない君には全てが妄想に聞こえるのだろう。
Delusions? It must all sound delusional to someone who hasn't even had a fragment of knowledge. If you're immersed in a delusion, anything that isn't a delusion seems like a delusion. Is that what he's trying to say? Well, no, if you're immersed in a delusion, reality seems like a delusion. And it feels like the people who actually have the real perspective in the world are the ones who are deluded.
妄想か。そうだな。ちょうどコペルニクスの地動説が妄想と言われたよ
Oh
うにか。
yeah, that's interesting. Delusion, huh? Just like Copernicus's heliocentric theory was called delusional, right?
分かってるじゃないか。
So you do understand.
太古の昔からそれこそピロラオスが宇宙の中心に中心日があり、地球や太陽を含めて全ての天体がその周りを公転すると考えたにもかかわらず。
In ancient times, even though Philolaus believed that the central fire was at the center of the universe and the earth, the sun, and all other celestial bodies rotated around
地
it,
上を中心にこの空が回っていると考えた。なぜかわかるか。
he believed the sky rotated around the earth. Do you know why?
何？
答えが先にありきだからだよ。
Yeah.
答えが先にあってそれに現実を合わせてきたからだ。
Yeah. He already had his answer, and he changed reality to fit his notions. 12 you became what? Just like, oh, somebody we know under the name of Mamiya Takuji.
世界の中心が今ここである。これがまず前提。間違っても我々の世界がどっか何かの周りを回転する一個の天体だなんて現実は認めてはいけない。
The center of the world is right here. That was a given. Even if it was mistaken, they couldn't accept that their world revolved around another celestial object.
答えありき。答えから無理やり導き出される現実。
Exactly.
そりゃ現実は歪むわな。
Preconceived notions, reality forcibly fit to those notions. Doing that warp their worldviews. Isn't it interesting that Tomosane never mentions why he wants so badly to make it so that Takuji has been killed?
欲しい答えが現実に合うことなんてどれだけあるんだろうな。
Yep. The facts that you want to be true coincidentally happen to align with reality. Yep. How often does that happen to you, Takuji?
でも信じたい。世界の中心が自分であり、全ては自分を中心にして回っている。
Yeah, no, I can see why,
自
yeah.
分だけが特別な存在。
But they still wanted to believe that they were the center of the world and everything revolved around them. They alone were special in the world.
なあ、マミヤ。信じたいんだろう。決められた答え。
Oh yeah,
そして
totally.
認めた
God, it's
く
giving
ない
him
んだ
such
ろ
a
う。
reality check. It
こ
really
の
is
現
interesting.
実を。お前が世界の中心でも救世主でも特別な存在でも母親が期待したような人間でもないことを。
Wow. He really goes. But then again, I mean, if you destroy everything this person stands for and if you give him a taste of reality, maybe this fight will easily be won. You aren't the center of the world. It's a complete risky move, though, it really is. You aren't the center of the world and you aren't special. Yeah, my god. Yeah, you weren't any sort of savior like your mother thought you were. And I suppose in this analogy, like Philadelphus' theory, well, the fact that you have an idea, but then your human ideals and what everybody societally thinks should be the case completely overrides everything that would be logical because of the fact that they wanted to have superiority rather than accepting the fact that they could just be one planet out of many in a universe. Yuki. Oh wow. Oh my god. He came right at me with a straight punch. I saw exactly where his fist was headed. Interesting that we're now not seeing Tomosane's viewpoint. Oh wait, no, hang on a second. This is... No. It could be anyone's viewpoint, actually. I saw exactly where his fist was headed. Yeah, it's Takuji. His anger and reckless abandon showed me the path his fist would take. Once I saw the attack, there was no problem. I had only to hold strong in my heart. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. I dashed him right next to his face. My arm was already locked under his armpit. Then I lowered my waist. I lowered my waist and lifted him to nearly vertical in my hold. What a weird move. His body went flying through the air. I see. So I'd assume what you do is you maybe... so you maybe lock somebody and then you squat down, maybe use your body weight in order to stand up, in order just to completely send him flying. Oh yeah, good one. A perfectly executed move. Yeah, nice. Isn't that interesting? Since his arms were stretched to their limits. Ooh, I destroyed his joints while simultaneously slamming him down onto the concrete. Fucking hell. Yeah, that really must hurt. He's definitely got the upper hand here. Is this dislocated?
どうだ。すべての技を知っている救世主
Yeah,
様
good
なら
point. Yeah,
知らない技
totally.
じゃないだろう。
How about that? The all-knowing savior should know about that move, right?
なんだ今の。 全ての武道を知り
Well,
尽くした
clearly
僕
not.
が全く知らない技。
What was that? I've mastered every martial art on the planet. There's no move I don't know.
知らないなんてねえよ。
Yeah.
忘れてるだけだ。
You do know that move. You just forgot it as... Yeah. Another little hint there.
本気みたいだな。
It looks like you're serious, huh? But he's acting over rage rather than Tomosane, who is acting under... composure.
本気。
Serious?
ああ、そうだ。
Yeah, that's right.
お前を消すためだけに生まれてきたと思ってきた。自らを否定し、自らを消し去るための道具として。
I thought I was born just to erase you. Ah, that's interesting, yeah. I deny myself and try to erase myself. I see that,
俺は
yeah.
生み出されたと思っていた。
I thought I was created.
何を。
I suppose it's kind of like that baby analogy, really. Because the babies, they have no choice to erase themselves, rather than Tomosane, who does. But obviously that's wrong.
俺は破壊者。
Yeah.
終わらすためだけの存在。秩序ある世界、それを破
Oh,
壊し、
yeah, I like that. I like how that
新たなる
changes.
秩序を生み出すための存在。
I am the destroyer, an existence born to end things, to destroy worlds with order, an existence that gives birth to new order. Yeah.
「そのためだけに作られたものであったはずだ。
I was supposed to be a person created just for that purpose.
それが恐ろしくなったのか。それを認められなくなったのか。
Are you scared? Can't you admit it?
何の話だ。
What are you talking about?
何の話？
What am I talking about?
バカかお前。ハサキの話に決まってるだろ。
Yeah. Are you stupid? I'm talking about Hasaki, of course.
何の話だ。
What are you talking about?
こんなになっても、もう最後なのにもかかわらず、それでも貴様には聞こえないのか。
Even now, even at the end, you can't hear it.
あいつの名前は。そうだな。貴様はハサキを忘れ、ハサキを亡き者とすることにより、あいつの存在を、
Her name.
ハ
That's
サ
it,
キを
isn't it?
守ろうとした。
You tried to protect Hasaki by forgetting about her and pretending she was dead.
そのことには、ある一定以上の評価をしている。
Interesting.
お前がどんなに狂っていても、ハサキの幸せだけは第一義的に考えたことは、
For that, at least, I have to commend you. No matter how crazy you got, you always put Hasaki's happiness first. He's being incredibly optimistic, I feel. I don't think this is the case whatsoever.
なんだそれは。何をお前は言ってるんだ。
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? Because I don't think this Takuji is doing anything, and he's completely denying the existence of Hasaki. I think it's sort of similar to how Yuki had complete control from within, from the Yuki that was in her subconscious. I think that Takuji's forgetting about Hasaki and not acknowledging her whatsoever is because of the fact that it's had intervention from sources that Takuji personality can never do anything about, really. I think Tomosane is more talking to the Takuji that is not this one, but a different one. What's that? What are you saying?
最後まで届かないんだな。
Yeah.
お前にあいつの名
Yeah,
は。
Her name won't reach you until the very end, huh?
お前はいつも都合の悪い言葉は歪めるか消し去るかだからな。
Whenever the words you hear aren't convenient for you, You distort them or erase them.
特にお前は刃先に関する
Yeah.
認識を
Yeah,
できる
exactly,
限り消去し、大幅に変更して生きてきた。
Especially when it comes to Hasaki. You try to erase or change all of your memories of Hasaki.
刃先の存在をあらゆる手段で消し去り、代行させて見えないふりをした。
Yeah.
それは勇気だよ。お前なりの勇気だったんだろう。
But it's sick. Especially considering the fact that this is Hasaki's brother. You've used every technique to erase, replace, or ignore Hasaki's existence. That's bravery. That was your own form of bravery.
なんなんだお前さっきから大事な部分だけ言わずに言葉を隠すな。
What is it? You. Why haven't you been saying the most important parts? Don't hide your words.
隠してきたのはお前だ。
Yeah, exactly. You're the one who hid
で
them.
もな、お前が隠したもの、刃先との関わりは水上由紀でもお前でもなく、消えていく運命の俺にだけ託されたんだ。覚えておけ。
It was you who hid them. But remember that I was the only one with a connection to Hasaki. Neither you nor Minakami Yuki, but I, the person who was fated to disappear. It's really interesting that he feels that Yuki doesn't have a connection to Hasaki, but then again, I think that is totally makes sense. She was always the one that encouraged the connection from Tomosane and obviously Hasaki herself. But she did have a connection herself, but obviously that's faded now because of the fact that this new Yuki can never ever see her. Are you crazy? Says you. Yeah, seriously. And isn't it funny? Pathetic and avoiding of responsibility. Are you crazy?
気狂い
Yeah,
何
yeah,
を
fair
今
enough.
更ここにこの場にいなこの世界に気狂いでないものなどいない
Crazy. Are you really asking that? Here in this place, no, in this world, there was not a single person who wasn't crazy.
知るがいいお前が住む世界お前が知る世界お前が作り出した世界には気狂いしかいないことを
You should know it. The world you've birthed, the world you know, the world you created is filled with nothing but madmen. And that makes sense because he has never been able to engage with people that have... Well, the world that this delusional Takuji has created is not one in which he's been able to interact with people who have shown him love or anything good about humanity. He's just been an outcast to everything. And as a result of that, he's been picked on by horrible people. So that's affected his perception of the world and who truly is in the world. I can see that. And also, and also I suppose obviously the world with regards to the Tsui no Sora and returning people to the sky, of course. Yeah, and isn't that funny? Oh shit. Ooh, he couldn't even cushion his fall when I threw him. He only managed to twist his neck and disperse the force of the blow. God. He's pretty tough though. Ooh, what's this? Oh my god, so he's getting destroyed. He really is.
まともに焦点が合わないだろう
How about that? You can't even see straight now, right? It really is a situation where you would think that Tomosane has the upper hand. You would think. And he does
新しく覚えた技なんて一つもない
Yeah.
貴様が妄想ごっこをしている
Yeah, fair
間に
enough.
血の小便を出し尽くすぐらいに練習して体得した新しい技の境地だ
I mean, unfortunately, this isn't real. It's just metaphorical to just give an indication of how hard he has tried and how hard he has changed as a result of that. You haven't learnt a single new trick. While you were playing around with your delusions, I was training so hard that I pissed blood in order to master some new techniques. Yeah. Yeah, look at him crying like a baby. This is the person that has completely controlled your life and that has ruined any possibility he has of being with Hasaki. And look at him crying now. The person with so much impact rendered so useless.
ここが妄想の限界だ
Yeah, this is where reality meets delusion. This is the limit of your
お前の
delusions.
妄想は
Yeah,
ここにある
yeah,
現
totally.
実によって終わらせられる
Your delusions will be ended by my reality. And
あの時の逆だな
it is totally, yeah, this is the opposite of last time.
あの時は俺がそこでフェンスにもたれててお前が俺を見下していた
Last time I was there leaning against the fence and you looked down upon me. Yeah. Last time I was there, leaning against the fence, and you looked down upon me.
それが今じゃ逆だ。
Yep.
血だらけで倒れているのはお前なんだよ。間宮。
Now it's the opposite. You're the one who's fallen bloody to the ground, Mamiya.
僕が
Yep.
倒れてる。
I've fallen.
そうだよ。ここが終わりだ。
That's right, this is the end.
ここで終わりにしよう。
God.
間宮拓司。
And it's just so fucking surprising to think about how much it looks like a victory. Like with Tomosane defeating the Master, it feels like Takuji winning is something that could never possibly happen. Let's end it here, Mamiya Takuji. What?
ここは対の空の下なんだろ。
Yeah.
ならいいじゃないか。
We're under the end sky, so shouldn't it be fine?
俺たちの終わりにふさわしいじゃないか。
Isn't it a fitting end for us?
俺たちの終わり？
An end for us?
ああ。終わりにしよう。ここで。誰かを巻き込むことじゃない。
Yeah, let's end it here. We really don't need to drag anyone else into this.
お前の世界系ごっこにみんなを付き合わせるな。
Yeah.
お前の世界の終わりに付き合うのは俺とあいつでいい。3人で十分だ。
Oh, I like that, the three of us. Don't drag everyone else into your games. Yeah, and this is not talking about all of the people who are going to be affected with regards to the suicide that he is going to lead. But, well, the mass suicide that he's going to lead. But, it's just talking about everybody inside his head in general. Yeah, don't drag everyone else into your games. The only ones who need to go along with your end of the world are me and her. Yeah. The three of us are plenty.
ここは俺とお前にとってだけの終わりの空だ。
This sky is the end for just you and me.
ここが終わりの地点なんだ。
This is where it will end.
それでいいだろう。拓司。
Isn't that good enough, Takuji? Oh, God. Here we go. I think he's obviously thinking that this is going to be the end for Tomosane and Takuji's relationship because Tomosane is an opponent of Takuji. It's not going to be in the way that would realistically be the case, i.e. it's the end for both of them. Well, it's the end for you and me because of the fact that Tomosane is going to be the one who dies. I always carried this knife around for some reason. I don't know why it was in my pocket. I don't know who first put it there. I wonder if that's Kimika's knife. It doesn't look like it. Well, it's not. Yeah, why is it there? If that's not Kimika's knife. Don't know who first put it there. I just felt that I had to end it here, with this knife.
痛みはない。ちゃんと心臓を狙う。
It won't hurt. I'll aim for the heart.
もうお互い痛い遊びも飽き飽きだろ。
Aren't we both tired of this painful game?
ダメ、絶対にダメ。
Oh my god, yeah, no. I remember seeing everything regarding Tsukasa saying this. No, you can't. Huh. God, this is the unusual thing, though. I mean, beforehand, this would have been a total victory between Tomosane and Takuji. This just feels so weird. This feels such a perversion of logic. This is the difference between Hasaki having a future with Tomosane and not. I don't get it. Well, to be fair, I think it's actually very stupid to think after all of the crimes that Takuji is... Has Takuji actually committed any crimes? I mean, he's encouraged people to do horrible things. But has he done anything himself? I mean, leading a cult isn't necessarily illegal. Ooh. Okay. Burning the hair from corpses, that's basically getting somebody to damage a corpse. That could probably be illegal. Kiyokawa. Well, I don't know, Kagami is a bit weird because that's a delusion. So even though he had all of the thoughts that should have got him a life sentence. Well, no. I mean, he wasn't the one who did it, but he led it, so you could technically say it's as bad as it was. But a lot of the decisions, for example... Oh, then again, I don't know, because he makes a cult and then he forces people to do things. Like, for example, Kiyokawa to do the incest and stuff like that. And he is the person who commands them. It's their decision to do it. But the only thing is, obviously, they're manipulated because of the amount of manipulation that Takuji has. So I don't know whether it would be their faults. I mean, I don't know if it would be both people's fault or if it would just be the people who committed the crimes, i.e. Kiyokawa and, for example, Megu's lot when they stole the drugs. Oh yeah, and also I suppose there's going to be a lot of crimes for non-consensual sex as well, because they're all drugged. There's probably someone who forced them to have those drugs. But I don't know if Takuji would be... But still, I think it's obvious to say that he wouldn't be able to live a new life and a normal life, so having a life with Hasaki and having a secure existence, maybe it was a naive prospect to begin with. Because let's be honest, he is only concerned about the nature of what is going on in his head. He doesn't have much of an idea of what's going in the real world. Is it really something that could have ever happened without causing more pain to Hasaki? Someone's voice. I recognise that voice. That voice was...
ダメだよ。お兄さん、そんなことしちゃ。
Oh my god! Yeah, because of the fact that it looks like he's suiciding now, doesn't it? You can't, Tomoni-san. You can't do that. Why did you follow me? They were too worried. I don't blame them. I really don't. But how did they actually get up here? Because everything that is going on in the basement, which... Wait, no, the basement isn't the only... Sorry, the sewers. It's not the only way to get to the rooftop. And Hasaki probably has a key. Sorry about that.
Kimura.
Damn it, Kimura. Damn it, Kimura.
鍵のかけ忘れか。
Yep.
鍵を閉めておけばつけられていたとしても入れなかったのにな。
Crap, I forgot to lock the door. If I had locked it, you two wouldn't have been able to follow me up here.
ダメだよ。トモ兄さん、私、そんなの許さないんだから。
He feels he's killing Takuji, but these people think he's suiciding, I think. Why hasn't Kimura intervened then. I don't understand that.
ごめんね。
You can't, Tomoni-san. I won't let you do that.
Hasaki.
Hasaki. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. From her perspective, it must have looked like I was pointing a knife at my own chest. Yeah. In reality, I was about to plunge this knife into my own chest.
そんなことするためだったらくるくる
Yeah,
巻きに
I
して
totally agree.
閉じ込めておけばよかった。
If that's what you were planning to do, I should have just tied you up and never let you leave.
だからそれも一つの手だと言ったはずだ。
I told you that was also an option. Yeah. And now he doesn't even have control. Yuki! I know that's the sick thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't believe it. I mean, it makes full sense. It's sick, though. Oh my god. Yeah. Holy fucking shit, she's going to see this. Hasaki couldn't see the change that had just happened. Yeah, the knife moved from my hand to Mamiya Takuji's. Yeah. Exactly, Mamiya Takuji's willpower grabbed hold of the knife. Damn it. It was his knife all along. The moment I realised that. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I just find it very interesting what Tomosane was doing. Is I think he was gaining too much hope, and he really was thinking about the fact that he had just gained too much of an overestimate of what his true power could lead him to do, because it's just horrible to think about the fact that no matter how courageous and no matter how skilled he has got, in order to defeat Takuji, like he always defined at the beginning, he feels he must defeat himself, and he forgets this because he thinks he can rise up against that against that limitation that he had before. But then I suppose here we have him realizing that this limitation was always something that he was bound by, and he really can never escape something like this happening. And look at what's happened as a result of this miscalculation. You've filled Hasaki with false hope. Oh my fucking god. And she's literally seen her brother's suicide. I mean, she doesn't know what's happening, and I really, really hope that Tomosane is going to tell her, but fucking hell, I'm very scared for what's going to happen now. Oh my god, what? But how? Your heart is right there. It's right here, isn't it? Yeah, you intervene, my god.
最後の最後でしくじったな。
I know! At the very end, I still messed up, huh?
しくじった。何言ってるんだよ。
He's not even wrong! It's not pre-established
予定調和な
harmony.
んだよ。
Is it actually? Messed up? What are you talking about? This was inevitable. Yeah. This is pre-established harmony. The song of his victory. I suppose also if you think about the harmonizer, making it so that he has more of a possibility to rise up against Takuji. You're gonna die, but you're gonna die a hero. God. Yeah, I don't understand how the rest of its Mayan invention can even happen, if I'm going to be honest. The knife had definitely carved its way deep into our physical body. In other words, both Mamiya Takuji and I had been stabbed. Yeah. Just from the feeling of that knife, I could tell that neither of us were safe. Yeah, totally. Oh my god. And Hasaki has to watch this as well. I could tell the knife had been driven very deep into the flesh.
予定調和か
Pre-established harmony, huh? That's the worst thing, because it's interesting, if you ask me, that Yuki, she was trying so hard in order to make it so that she would defeat Takuji, and she had encouraged him to forget his original role as the Destroyer. The Destroyer can't become the Destroyer anymore without him destroying himself. It's weird how it's pre-established though.
なるほどどうあってもお前にとって
Yeah, no, I see that.
俺は用済みってことなのか
I see. So in your eyes, I've already outlived my purpose.
ああそうだ君は所詮は僕が救世主になるためにあるハードル
Yeah, that's right. You were just a hurdle for me on my path to becoming the savior.
超えるべき存在確かに僕は君を甘く見ていた甘く見すぎていたそれを教えてくれたことには感謝しよう
Existence for me to surpass. It's true, I underestimated you. I underestimated you too much. I have to thank you for teaching me that.
いつ何時でも救世主は油断すべきではない相手がどんなに小さな存在に見えたとしても油断すべきではない
And isn't it funny to think about the fact that this Tomosane has totally accepted the fact that the knife is deep into the wound, he has barely any time left. Look at Takuji still going on and still using his disgusting delusions in order to completely emphasize the fact that Tomosane has been defeated. Yeah, the saviour should never let his guard down. No matter how insignificant his opponent seems, he should never let his guard down.
君はそれを僕に教えてくれたありがとう
You've taught me that. Thank you.
あのさ葉崎ごめん
Yeah, don't even listen to him. Good move, but God. Oh, this is it's just too cruel. It's just so horrible how meaningless he makes Tomosane's existence seem. Hey Hasaki, I'm sorry.
俺はどうやら約束守れなかったみたいだここで終わりだ
He had so much hope, but the only thing is he really went into the floor of just feeling overconfident, if anything, doing what Takuji does, feeling like he can beat reality and he can beat fate. And it's so horrible because unlike with Takuji, you want that to happen. You want this guy to just be able to be reunited with his sister. I mean, is it so much to ask? Is it really so much to ask? But it is. That's the thing that's so brutal.
何もしてやれなかったな
Oh, no, that's so
葉崎にはなあ
I just hate hearing him feel like he should nearly die. I feel so bad. Couldn't do anything for you, Hasaki, could I?
とも兄さん
Tomo-ni-san.
そんなことない。そんなこと。だからとも兄さん。
She so doesn't deserve this. Yeah, and I love that she's really emphasizing the fact that he has done so much for her. He has changed. I mean, I'm sorry, but he hasn't changed his entire way of thinking and his entire viewpoint and just the entire way he treats people. Like the master said, he has grown up so fucking much. All for Hasaki. How could you do that much for a person and change yourself in ways that much? And yet then continue to say that you've done nothing. It's not true. I totally agree. Tomo-ni-san, don't go.
こいつにやられるとはな。
I know, that's the worst thing.
どうしようもない。
There's nothing I can do. I've been beaten.
どうしようもないな。
Nothing I can do. Uh-huh.
これも現実か。
God, if only it wasn't. It's this too reality.
なら受け入れるだけか。
Then I can only accept it.
ああ、受け入れろ。これが現実だ。
Yep. Yes, accept it. This is reality. Yep, a reality in which Takuji is going to be able to beat Tomosane. But the only thing is, the thing that's very, very problematic is it's all a game of willpower in the end of the day. Tomosane killing Takuji is like him killing himself, so of course, with somebody who has a big attachment to life and who has so many things he wants to do, willpower will falter. It's inevitable suicide, but one suicide is obviously a lot more slow and painful than the other. If he had the willpower, he would have done it just then. There'd be none of this. I think it's nice that he is able. I think it's good he lost, actually, because he's able to have final words with Hasaki. Yes, accept it. This is reality.
僕が救世主であり、世界を空に返す。
Yeah, you will die,
それが
true.
現実なんだよ。
Yeah, death sugar-coated by delusions, sure thing, man. Yeah, that's reality, right? I am Kyuseishu-sama, and I will return the world to the sky. That is the reality.
そうか。そりゃ
He doesn't even have the
ご苦
strength
労
to
なこと
contest
だ
it.
な。
I see, good job then.
こんなことなら最後の時間もっと他に使えばよかったかな。
It's the problems about fights. Irrational confidence leads to a thought that you could defeat what was impossible to defeat. If this is how it was going to end, I shouldn't have used the last of my time like this.
もっと相手してやればよかったな。
I totally agree. Yeah, I should have spent my time with you.
ダメな兄だな。俺も。
You had so much time. You only realise how valuable time is when it's taken away from you. Just like in this situation.
まったく変わらないな。俺も。
It's interesting that he's thinking that. Beforehand, he was always thinking that he would inevitably go and he was going to be able to destroy... He was going to destroy Takuji in order to be destroyed. And his existence was aimed to destroy Takuji, but now in order to help Hasaki and to live with her, he naively thinks that he can destroy Takuji Even though that's what his existence was designed to do and then live on. He can't. I haven't changed at all.
さてと
Yeah.
お別れだ間宮拓司おめでとうお前の勝ちだ
Now then, farewell, Mamiya Takuji. Congratulations, you've won.
そして俺の負けだ
And I've lost. Oh my god. Tomo-ni-san, don't go.
バカ俺に近づくな
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck.
危ないぞ
You tell me don't come near me, it's dangerous. Isn't it funny that we never saw this with Takuji? I don't know how It's My Own Invention continued, I don't get this. You tell me don't come near me, it's dangerous. I always thought what was happening in It's My Own Invention, the stab wound wasn't very deep, so as a result of that, it would kill Tomosane because he had a lack of willpower and a lack of confidence to fight up and rise against Takuji again. But, yeah, I thought the stab wound was deep enough that if you shallow enough that if you pressurized it, it would be fine for a day. Basically what happened to him and Takuji's trickery in convincing everybody that he's the savior there. You dummy, don't come near me, it's dangerous.
この肉体は間宮拓司のものに変わる
Yeah.
俺は消える
God. Yeah, this body will be Mamiya Takuji's soon. I'm gonna disappear.
トモ兄さんが消えるなんてありえないよ。だって
You can't disappear, Tomo-ni-san. Please.
そうだな消えたくないな
I don't want you to either, man. Just look at this person right in front of you. That's just one reason of many that I don't want him to disappear. It's just so horrible whenever people say that you don't get what you want in life. Holy fuck. Yeah. When you see stuff like this, you really realise the meaning of statements like that. Yeah, I don't really want to disappear.
もっと葉崎と一緒にいたかった
I wanted to be with you longer.
そうだよ。だからトモ兄さん一緒に帰ろう。もううちに帰ろうよ。
And please don't go. Let's go home. Let's go home together. Let's just go home.
そうだなそれが約束だったな
Yeah, that was the promise. You're right.
そうだよ。
Yeah, it was.
一緒にこれからずっと一緒に
To be together
たくさ
forever
ん言葉を交わし
and talk as much as we wanted.
もっとたくさんの言葉を交わすって約束した。私まだまだ全然足りないよ。トモ兄さんと話すの。
Yeah, you promised we could talk as much as we wanted. I still want to talk to you, Tomo-ni-san.
話すの足りないか
No way. I wish I could have talked with Hasaki more. I know. I totally agree. I was only paying attention to meaningless stuff. I couldn't see the most important thing in my life. Yeah. Yeah. Because I would be disappearing. Because I was fated to disappear. I tried not to make any memories with Hasaki. Fully agreed. Now that I think back on it, that was a really foolish thing to do. All people eventually disappear. I'm not the only one fated to disappear. Yeah, exactly. And if anything, it's because even though this person has a shorter life than normal people would. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to change because of that. All people eventually disappear. I'm not the only one fated to disappear. Just because we're all going to disappear doesn't mean our memories aren't still present. Yeah. Totally agree. There will always be. They really will be. Yeah, sure, it may hit more. But what you have done, it's like how he was trying to put Hasaki off and that just strengthened their bond. He has done all of this. He's always had a lack of ability to talk to her. What has it done? It's pulled them together, and now there was so much wasted potential in terms of the conversations that they could have had. Look at just how much more pain. Him being considerate and him trying to be painless. Sorry, him trying to painlessly... what was I going to say? Him trying to painlessly XYZ. Painlessly. Depart the world. Just how much more pain that caused. Anyway. Oh, that's cruel. But yeah, I totally see it. You have time. Do it now. Yeah, let's talk.
私ね、ゆうべね、大きなひまわり見たんだよ。
Yeah, last night I saw a big sunflower
夏の夜空に大きなね、
in the sky.
黄色いひまわりがすごく綺麗で。
Big sunflower, yellow and beautiful in the sky.
ひまわり。
For some reason, I saw a great sunflower stretching into the night sky. For just a second, that sunflower, sometimes, somewhere before.
もう夏なんだね。
I do wonder.
すっかり夏なんだよ。
It's already summer, you know. It's the middle of the summer.
学校もそろそろ夏休みだし。
Yeah, me too.
私
My life's gonna be ruined after this, let's be honest here.
どっか行けたらいいな。
Summer break is coming soon. I wish I could have gone somewhere with you this year, Tomoni-san. Me too. I think what's happened is Takuji's... Because of Tomoni-san saying that Takuji's going to inhabit the body, I think it's obvious that the stab wound doesn't actually exist. But the only thing is, I mean, Hasaki saw Tomoni-san plunge the knife into himself. Maybe there was never truly a suicide. And obviously as a result of that, no, there was never truly a... No, I don't know. Because there was a knife. Why would Hasaki be so shocked if that wasn't the case? I think there was a knife, but judging by the fact that Takuji could live on, even though the wound is so deep, I think... Well, I think in reality maybe he's just perceiving himself to have stabbed himself and he hasn't actually plunged it through his flesh. I don't know though, it's weird. Yeah. Himawari. I wonder what the significance of this is. It is interesting when you think about Yuki, though. She has had a lot of sunflower related. Well, just. Wait, no, actually. Oh, I do wonder. Summer, huh?
ずっと
Yeah.
どこにも行かなかったから今年の夏はどっか行きたいって
Yeah, you said you wouldn't ever leave me, so I wanted to go on vacation somewhere this summer.
今年の夏はとも
Yeah,
兄さ
yeah,
んと
seriously, yeah.
また仲良くなれたから
Because this summer it seemed like we were getting along again.
だから夏休み一緒にあの村に帰ろうよ
God, I wonder where they used to live and why they moved as well. This summer break, let's go back to our old town together.
あの村
Our town?
そうだよあの村だよ兄さんと一緒に過ごした
That's right, our town, where you and I were together before.
あの
That sunflower with Hasaki. That's right. Because I'm her big brother. Yeah. Let me just search up what is the symbolism of sunflower. Oh shit. I don't need to, never mind. Actually no, I think I should. Oh, that's interesting. What do they symbolise? Oh my god, I'm glad I searched this up. So it actually symbolises loyalty and adoration. Oh, wait, no, that's AI overview. Hang on. Oh, yeah, a popular flower that symbolises happiness. And it does convey a powerful message of loyalty and deep admiration. Oh my god. That's interesting. I see why now. That this symbolism here of the sunflower is very, very relevant, yeah. It's just so sick to think about the fact that there are so many plants that these people want to have together, and yet at the same time, I mean, you can never do it. Huh. Just now. That landscape. Oh right, that landscape. I knew it once. A sunflower along the path.
なんで忘れてたんだろう。そうか。一緒に過ごしたな。
How did I forget that? Well, we were there before, we spent time together before.
夏休みまた
Oh, it's just false
村
hope.
に行こうよ
Total false hope. Yeah, so this summer, let's go back.
夏休み
This summer? Yeah, Tomo-ni-san.
そうだな。
Yeah, of course.
夏休み。
This summer break. Oh my god, what's happening? The blue sky and the sunflower. Marshmallow clouds drifting by overhead. And Hasaki wearing a big hat. And she walks with me. Forever and ever. The two of us. On that path. Oh. To reach the top of the hill. And there, waiting for us on the other side of the hill, is a beautiful scene in the future. Oh my god, what's going on now? Oh, I see, so that's the end. Interesting. That was properly good. That really, really was. God, that ending was really sad as well. Fucking hell. But what I find interesting about all of this is, oh, it's just so sick how Takuji's illness affects him. I mean, it's just all of the memories that are so significant and important to him are just all totally overridden, and it's as if they're, if you like, they're made fun of and they're mocked just by his mind. It's never intentional, of course, but it's just awful. It really isn't. Just this as well. I mean, my god, I just find it so sad. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Let's just see the voice actors. Anyway, don't know why I did that. I didn't really get anything from that, but yeah, it's just, I think it's just so sad to think about the fact that all of Hasaki and Tomosane's relationships, they have always been on false promise and false hope. They should have this hope. I mean, my fucking god, it's only normal. These people just deserve normal lives, they really do. I mean, these people have had such ridiculously, I mean, Hasaki especially, she has had such insanely tough goings on. And it's just horrible that she has to have such harsh goings on. And she's such a good person as well. I mean, my god, she just deserves Tomo-ni-san. She really, really does. She just deserves all of it. But she doesn't get any of it. And it's horrible. It really, really is. I just feel so bad for Hasaki, I really do. And I really do wonder how It's My Own Invention can continue. But I think that theory about the stabbing not actually happening may be a possibility to explain it. Right. New chap. Wait, what? Where is the new chapter? Jabberwocky. What was that? Is that, yeah. Which dreamed it? Jabberwocky, which dreamed it? The Jabberwock as well. The epic poem completely written in a nonsensical style. Nothing here, by the way. Or here. Oh, we still have 3 other fragments to go. I wonder. Written in a nonsensical style, as if to convey meaninglessness and a lack of ability to be able to be understood by others. And it's kind of like Tomosane's life initially. He has a meaningless existence because he's just born to die. But his existence gains meaning. But then it all ends as if... but his existence will always have meaning within Hasaki, because obviously she will be very, very affected, and I don't know what's going to happen to her, but I can't say it's going to be anything positive or happy. Let me just... Yeah, look at this. What a beautiful CG. That really, really looks amazing. I'm surprised that Takuji doesn't have more of a height difference compared to Hasaki. But then again, I do find that really interesting. I just want to see how this differs in chapter 2. Right, here we go. It's a very different scene, and obviously Yuki's mind would naturally distort this as much as it possibly could. Of course, because of Kagami existing. Right. Yeah. Wow.
大きな坂。大きな坂。
Makes sense. Not now it isn't, because of the fact that the hill is merely just a straight line. Or if anything, maybe it's a depression. I.e., what I'm saying, it's impossible to get up. It's impossible to surmount the wall in which they would have to pass to be united. Oh no, let's read it all. What a funny little hint there. That's classic Kagami there. Oh my god, that's really interesting. So what I find a bit unusual to this is the fact that the hill represents the future. But in that scene there, they were able to get to the future. They were able to get up the hill. They were able to... I don't know, them getting up the hill is kind of like a means of them recognising the time and the effort they put into something. They have something that they work towards together. Joint effort to get to. And that kind of represents just their bond in general, really. But it's interesting that beforehand, the hill, it's as if it looked dull. It's as if it looked the same as everything else there. Maybe it's odd to think, but there were potentials for special... Well, no. Then again, oh no, this is how I'm going to interpret it. So you have to go up a path in order to get a future. But then you realise that there are so many other hills and there are so many other paths that you have to ascend in order just to get to a future that makes it so that Hasaki and Takuji can live a stable life. But the only thing is there are so many paths that they need to get up that their future isn't secure at all, and it's not safe, and it's just not going to happen, which is sick. It should happen. It really, really should, and I just feel so horrible that it doesn't. But yeah, that's what I think. I don't know though. I'll probably interpret that more later. But yeah. Now we finished chapter 5, so mysteries we have left. What the fuck happened to cause everything that we have seen in chapter 5, i.e. the DID? Which other questions do I have? Oh yeah, Minakamis. Who are the Minakamis? Who is Toshio? Mamiya's family, I suppose. I don't know what else could be relevant. Because with the Zakudou, we've kind of looked at everything we need to with her. But then again, I mean, Chapter 7 is called Jabberwocky 2, and which dreamed it, I don't know what's going to be in this chapter. I have no idea, if I'm going to be honest. But, yeah, I do wonder. I feel like Chapter 7's going to be heavily about Takuji. I don't know, though. I'm really excited to see, honestly. I'm sad that Subarashiki is ending soon, but at the same time, I'm very excited to see just how it will end. So, yeah, see you guys, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a really nice end to the chapter.